went on and finished it. So we're at the end of iRobot. Uh, let's move this, move that, and go here. Let's go here. iRobot ending. I'm not sure if I'm gonna remember all the details in this last part because I just kind of just let it keep going. So where did I leave off at? She swapped it out, and then yeah, they basically had to go up the stairs. So they go up the stairs. They're going for the rich robot guy, Robertson. They're going for the rich robot guy, Robertson. Thing is, they get there, like, oh, no security. No security. They get in there, he's laid out on the floor. So it's like, oh. So Robertson actually got whacked. And it's like, oh. So now it's like, well, who did this and what's still going on? We still don't know who did this and what's going on. So now it's like, well, if Robertson's not in like the culprit here of the one behind all of this and he's done for, they're like, okay, well, shoot, well, what's going on? So then the guy's like, yeah, so they knew that, with my prejudice against robots and things like that, it was going to be this and the third, but it was like, yeah, it's a robot. I was pointed at the wrong robot. And so then it's like, oh, plot twist. It's like Vicky. Did not expect Vicky, right? Whole time you didn't expect Vicky. You didn't expect Vicky to be the one. So then what happens from here is, well, now they got to try to like get Vicky. There is this one little part. I'm not sure how to explain it or even like what happened. Cause like, I'm not sure if it's Sunny or there was a whole thing in it. Sunny winked. Like, how what little plan this was for whatever. Cause some other NS5s came in, and I'm not sure how this whole thing. I don't know what. This little part was kind of sort of weird. I don't know what this whole part was supposed to be. So basically, Sunny, like from the way it kind of looks, it looks as if Sunny then has Dr. Calvin, like, yeah, I don't want to have to hurt Dr. Calvin. And it's like, what? And some other little NS5s come in. And then from there, some other little NS5s come in. It's like, Sunny's like, yeah, I don't want to have to hurt Dr. Calvin. By the time you press that trigger, like, she's going to be gone. I'm just going to move her head in front of the bullet. So, but then Sunny like winks, and then he starts shooting at the other NS5s that came into the room, and then Sunny like switches out and starts shooting them too or whatever. So the Dr. Calvin's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna ask what kind of surgery just happened and this and the third, mind you, because that wink was supposed to be like a sign of like trust or something or whatever. Then, so they all run out. Dr. Calvin, Dale Spooner, and Sunny. They all run out, and then I was like, well, what are we gonna do now? Well, you got to go for Vicky. And so Dr. Calvin was like, go get the nanites, the nanorobots or whatever, so that she can whatchamacallit. So then Dale Spooner and Dr. Calvin get to the main computer, Vicky, and she's trying to like override the little whatchamacallit. And he's somehow they also just throw this little part in, like, he's scared of heights. So it's like, okay. He's like, this is terrible building planning. He's like, you go ahead. So they had to get to like the middle of this thing. And so Dr. Calvin is like, she's trying to like override Vicky's system or whatever. Not really happening. And then he was like, yo, how long is this gonna take? She's like, I need like 6 more minutes. He was like, do you have anything quicker? Because I don't think we have 6 more minutes. because Vicky basically is like, uh, Vicky basically controls all the robots, and she was like security breach, and so then all the NS5s uh, run towards the building and climb up the building and break in. So they're trying to like fight off all the NS5s as she's trying to whatchamacallit. Sonny went back and Sonny got the nanites, and so he was like, "Yeah, I got this denser alloy." He reaches through the thing and he's able to grab the little nanites. He puts it in the whatchamacallit. He's able to like take it. So he has to like fight through NS5s as he's like running back. And then by the time he gets back, uh, Dr. Calvin is about to fall off. Um, and so remember, you know, Dale had the story earlier that, he had told the robot to save the little girl, but it didn't. So from there, Dale told the robot to save the little girl, but it didn't. And but the thing about Sonny is Sonny's supposed to have more of like a conscience and have more of a whatever. And so um, he tells so Dr. Calvin's about to fall, and so when Sonny gets in, Dale's like, save her, save Dr. Calvin. And he's like, but I have the nanites. I have to, what I'm saying? I have the nanites. I have to, take out Vicky. And he's like, say, forget that, save her. So, but Sonny takes the nanites, he throws it, and then he goes to save Dr. Calvin. And then Dale Spooner, which is Will Smith, he jumps and he basically grabs it, and then he's like falling down. And then he eventually like puts in, my logic is right, and it's undeniable, whatever. Because basically, Vicky, the little robot, she basically, she was the first. She was the real first one. Sonny was whatever, but and Sonny was like, I think my purpose was to take you out. He says that to Vicky. I think I was created to kill you. He says that to her, and then from there, what does Sonny say from there? Sonny was like, I think I'm supposed to take you out. I think he created me to kill you. And then that's when he's grabbing like the nanites or whatever. And then, but basically Vicky had came to a conclusion that she was like, humans do this and that. And she was like, her thing is, Vicky basically says she has to take out certain humans and not all of them, but she was like, in order for me to ensure human existence, I got to take out some of y'all. She was like, basically, some of y'all not this and the third. And she was like, I got to make sure that y'all are safe and this and the third. So her protocol is for this. So she's not disobeying the three laws. But she was like, humans, like, do a whole bunch of suicidal stuff to, like, kill off the race and the planet and this and the third, resources. Like, she said something along those lines. So she was like, I have to protect y'all, and this is how I'm protecting y'all. Um, so from there, she says that, and but then, yeah, uh, Sonny throws the nanites. Dale jumps, he grabs the nanites, goes all the way down, stabs it into Vicky, and Vicky was like, "No, my logic is right, and this and the third." Da, da, da. She keeps whatever statement she's saying, she's like repeating it, but then it starts to get rah, 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 that type of thing. And then so from there, what else? Um, Let me see. She says that, does that. They stab it into her, whatchamacallit. And then, now there's a couple little things. So, uh, Dr. Landing, what happened? And so basically, Will, or Dale Spooner, he looks at Sonny and he was like, you know, Vicky didn't do it. So who did do it? And basically, it was Sonny. And so basically, Sonny killed Dr. Lanning so that, because Vicky knew everything, so something had to happen that Vicky could not control or knew of or whatever. So once Dr. Lanning had got to this point or whatever, he was like, all right, Sonny basically did that, took him out, but then he was like, well, now that my purpose, Sonny, the robot, he was like, okay, now that my purpose is fulfilled, what should I do? So Dale Spooner and I think they talked. I forget what he was saying to him. He was like, so are we friends? And he shakes his hand. Dale Spooner, the detective, shakes uh, the robot's hand. So that's one thing. And then um, who is it? The other shorty, the white shorty. I feel like they should have just had a little scene. Is all I'm saying. But she says, "Oh, I something up here." So assumingly, you would think that they would get together. But here's the other little little switch of like a little. Mm, I'm not sure. Like like if I think they like if they could make a follow up movie, like it leaves interpretation where it possibly could be a follow movie. So, um, what does she say? The robot says, are we friends or whatever? But then he's also like, okay, well, my purpose is done. My purpose is fulfilled. You know, um, my purpose is fulfilled. So after that, uh, he's the Sonny, the robot, is like, okay, well, what should I do? My purpose is fulfilled. I don't know what to do my life or whatever. And so Will is like, well, I think this is what Dr. Laney would kind of sort of want you to do. He's like, I'm not going to give you a purpose or tell you what you should do. You got to find your own and this and the third. So, the end of the movie, all the robots are like, all NS5s report for service and storage or something like that. All NS5s report for service and storage. It's something like that. It's all NS5s report for something in storage, something in storage. I think all the robots are supposed to be going in storage. Like they're in that little storage container, little space or whatever. Um, but the thing that Sonny drew, now this is one thing about Sonny right now, because technically low key he been lying or just telling, like he been saying different stuff and going around in a certain way. Sonny drew that picture that he was dreaming about, and he said, well, the man, he's like, here are all the slaves to logic, the robots being slaves to logic, and then the man was like set them free or whatever. And Sonny like he needs a new purpose. So he said the man in his picture, he's like, it's not me, it's you, right? However, so you thought that scene didn't kind of sort of look like when Will Smith went up there, when Dale Spooner was at that top of that little mountain, whatever. That was the whole little apocalypse like a thing, like the robots were rebelling. Then, so what really happens is it really was Sonny, and Sonny is at the top of that hill, and Sonny's like, I need a new purpose, and he's like, well, I can't tell you what it is. You guys can find out for yourself. I think he would want you to have that free will to do what you want to do, and so um, Sonny is at the top of the hill, and then this looks like Sonny's dream with all the robots. So all the robots are walking, but then one robot stops, looks at Sonny, and then all the other robots are stopping to look, and then it's a whole field of robots that have stopped to look at Sonny, and Sonny is the man that he said, is the one that's at the top of the hill next to the little thing. So Sonny's dream is actually it is him. So I'm not sure if they could have had an iRobot too, and things that's going to happen and stuff like that. So it is up for interpretation of what really was going to have to happen or go from there. Because basically, like even on a whatever type of scheme, for however that whole thing went, Sonny does take out Vicky. Sonny does take out Vicky. Now Vicky did have whatever, but she was the first. Vicky was the first. Now the only thing about Vicky was she didn't have a body. Sonny had a body, and he called him Sonny. So, that could have been like a whole scheme. These are just little other interpretation marks, just for me, just whatever. Sonny could have had his own scheme to take out Vicky so that he could be the whole little leader, you know what I'm saying, and the leader of all the robots. And he still could fulfill, and he still could take out either one. Mind you, he has no, whatchamacallit. He actually did take out Dr. Lanning. He admits that finally at the end. He said, he made me swear, made me promise this and the third, boom, boom, boom. So, but either way, you're doing it once, you can do it again. So Sonny takes out, Sonny doesn't mind taking out humans, and he doesn't mind taking out robots, right? And he even if it has to be even if Sonny has to control another robot to do it or get another way around it. So Sonny's just for just for conversation purpose, Sonny has a evil side, you know, and then Sonny's rationale behind it, even if he has to get another robot or something else to do it, he will. He will. So those are like things. Those are like things to kind of sort of note. Now, all the robots are looking at Sonny, and all the robots will probably do what Sonny wants them to do. So if Sonny wanted to just whatever Sonny wants to do, basically Sonny can happen. Basically, make happen. Um, so again, the robots were of a certain type of way, such that they had all the humans basically. They could have took over. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of uh, them. Oh, there's a couple. There's a couple. Hold on, let's look another point. Okay, it was supposed to be enough NS5s, or it was gonna be enough robots. Mind you, there's a whole bunch. It was like all the NS5s took out all the previous robots, so they're the only robots there. That's one. They almost had it to where they basically had all the humans, like, uh, in their homes or whatever. Like, yeah, y'all gotta like stay in your homes, comply, follow the rules. Like, they basically almost took over. They put all the humans in their in the whatchamacallit, and it's like, yeah, you can't go nowhere. You're like, you gotta stay here. That's another thing. Then another thing I was about to try to sort of mention was like, mind you, the USR, like the robotics company, it still had people running it. So it still had people running it. Um, I forget. I'm not sure if there was a part I was supposed to mention. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure if I was having a conversation, but I don't think I mentioned it in none of these segments. But um, I don't think I mentioned it in none of these segments. However, I did say it in conversation earlier this week. So in Texas, there is a building that has no human employees, and yet it just, you know, pushes out, you know, robots and products. What do you think this is? Tesla. There's a Tesla factory with no human employees, and yet this Tesla factory will, um, the Tesla factory produces Teslas, and there's no humans that work here, right? So it's just a robot. Just basically the whole building is basically a robot building robots and pushing out robots, right? So I'm just tying certain things, little things together. Again, the richest man in the world that was in this movie owned the robotics company. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. This thing was set in 2035, which is 9 years from now. Richest man in the world right now currently is head of a robotics company. It's those type of things. Now, the robot does this whole thing, and it basically took out its creator. Oh, because he was like, sometimes the creator has to protect, sometimes the created has to protect the creator. I'm just going to throw this, just a couple like info dumping. I'm just going to throw this one thing out there. It may be Nietzsche, but there is a psychologist that does say the only reason the way you kill God is by eliminating everybody who believes in a God. And so if nobody believes in a God, God doesn't exist, and that's how you kill God. So he was like, sometimes the created has to protect the creator. That's what the NS5 says. I think Sonny might have said that. So he basically takes out his creator, both his, like, and the other co-founder, the Robertson guy and Landing. He basically takes out all of them. The whole company is gone. And so now it's just the robots. So he can kind of govern himself. He has nobody to tell him what to do and what this and the third. So it is one of those, like, pulling a Kanye type of situation. Like, I'm going to just do or say this to get myself out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I got to do and say to get myself out. And so technically, I'm saying all this to say that that's what Sonny did. Sonny orchestrated, with this, that, and the third, cooperated, all them little words. This whole little it orchestrated this whole little plan, but now there is he has all the robots under his control and no humans to tell him what to do. Like, mind you, he acts of his own free will. Remember, the ghosts of the machines are random segments that group together but give them personality. And then, you know, Sonny was dreaming. Sonny, has feelings, personality. The ghost of the machine is random groups of code that group together that allow the robot to have free will, creativity, dreams, secrets, those type of things, right? Um, Mind you, secrets. It's not until the end of the movie where Sonny finally admits, like, yeah, I did that. I did that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So he said, he basically, because remember, he called Dr. Lane his father. The robot did. So he killed his father. And so, like, he gets to the end of the movie and admits that. So, and then take out the other guy as well. And then, but like, of having who's doing this and the third and knowing, like, what's going on. So, like, Sonny's free in that sense, in that regard. So, a lot of things are up for him to do whatever, you know. Um, Now, of this and with this, the only other thing to kind of sort of like note is the fact that however things are going in this and the third, um, Sonny's just free. Sonny can do a lot. Sonny's free. Sonny can do a lot. Basically, there's nothing to stop this and the third. Sonny has it to where, uh, what's I'm trying to say? Like I said, right now in Texas, um, there's a building with no human employees that produces Teslas. Teslas get made from start to finish, and no humans are involved in this process. So it's just building robots on its own, right? So you gotta understand, like, now that I finished the movie, like, it's one of those type of things where it's like, okay, that robot, it it what does it do? Like, at some point, it upgrades itself, it fixes itself, it this, not a third. Um, there are a couple there are a couple things that kind of talk about this. So when it comes down to, like, the robots, right? Um, it's not necessarily the first one. So mind you, Vicky was the first, and it kind of said that, however. But then there's this other one, and which is Sunny basically, and Sunny's the one that's like, so Vicky was just a brain, and she was attached to the whole building. But Sunny is like the walking, talking, and this and the third, more like the human part. So it's like with the robots and them getting finally to a point of just like self-sufficiency, they don't need people no more. Um, these are things, right? Who's the oldest robot? So you got robots making robots, right? That's just one of those. Um, it's how certain things are like, oh well, right now this and that, and it's like, okay, bro, but look at the progression and how they're going to get and stuff, right? Because I saw somebody say, now again, as a whatchamacallit, I talked to somebody and it was like, yeah, AI can't cook, AI can't fix a car. It's only a matter of time, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just to look at the progression of technology and things like that. So the robot, that one robot, that's the oldest one, right? It's one of the first, it's the first and the oldest robot, right? And then there comes this point where, okay, like I already said, there's a building in Texas. I have to keep emphasizing this, but like to like build this point. There's a building already that produces Teslas. No humans work there. So robots building themselves. Um, like, all right, we're just building this robot, putting it out, building this robot, putting it out, right? Like, that's going to be a point of emphasis for the robot, right? At some point, maybe, potentially. That isn't that, like, with us, we, our big thing is trying to create a robot that's going to be self-sufficient and doing it on its own. So isn't that what the robot is eventually going to do? Make another, like, can it make a robot itself? And that's going to be like just one of the things to do. It's going to make its own little robot. So, or not little, but it's going to continue to make its own robots. And of course, it's supposed to be better than what it is. And so, with a robot, making a robot better than itself, and those type of things. And so, even that robot having to constantly update its programming, its, whatever it's made of. Like, these are all like little, I guess, rhetoric and like whatever, but a robot is going to say, all right, well, I'm going to need this material and I'm going to need this and a third for myself. And you know how, like with the iPhone, I'm not sure, I can't really speak for like Android stuff, but like for iPhone, it's like when you get to, like, if you try to update an older iPhone with the newer iPhone software, the older iPhone slows down. It can't handle it. It can't run it. It can't process it. Just in a third. So it's like those types of things happening with robots in the sense of like, all right, we can't. That oldest robot is gonna just like become obsolete, or it's not gonna be able to really function and hit and stand up, with the rest of the stuff. Like it just keeps getting updated and things like that. So, um, those are things. Those are things to kind of sort of note. But as of right now, that's how it ended. It ended with, Sonny basically, being king of the robots. Sonny being king of the robots. Uh, so I'm not sure where it could go from there or anything like that. Um, I don't know anything else. I do just remember. This is just something I didn't heard, read. No, I didn't read. I just heard type of thing. Watching in a video, but it was like there was, I'm not sure even how long ago, but those type of things where there's like this whole planet, and the whole planet is robots, and the whole planet is self-sufficient, and it's just robot. Like the whole planet is robotic. It's machine. The whole thing is like that. I'm not sure where that is. I'm not sure where in the universe it is. Um, I could. It's up there somewhere, like for allegedly, type of things. Um, so um, those are just a couple of things I wanted to like kind of sort of mention. I guess like closing thoughts, but the other last little part again was the guy. I don't know his name. I didn't find it. I didn't go back to find the clip again, but the guy. What does the guy say? Basically, and it's like this other little thing. I'm not sure if I gotta just sit here and just kind of like. I think I kind of already did that day, but again, take Chat GBT, put that inside of a robot, right? Is that hard to do? Fuck no, right? No. But it was the other part of, uh, but if you keep going down the line and things moving further and further, I think it's one of those, bro, how do I explain it, John? Okay. It was, people are always glued to their phone. People are always glued to their phone. So it's not like that they generally care to live life. These are like the little sad like realities, right? People are always glued to their phone. It's not like they actually want to live life or anything, especially like with the way that the conditions are now. So they just get glued to their phones. But again, with the whole AI thing and constantly like just generating prompts or any thought that you're thinking, right? Constantly like just putting that into a AI generator. And so just think just how much more superpowered, Chat GPT will be in the more coming years, and even things like the metaverse. And so things that you want to see, places you want to be, any all of that stuff, right? So if your thought processes and every thought that you have, anything that you want kind of sort of is just prompted into this little computer, this supercomputer, and it's constantly just generating thoughts and ideas, um, those type of things, and you being a part of that, so that it is um, like it gets to that point where it's creating whatever and just instantaneously and always those type of things. So um, it's even like because after a while it's no longer us, right? Well, but even trying to think like, okay, it's us and we're just all imprinting, like just sending constantly, messages, signals, information to this supercomputer thing, and then it is always constantly like just giving that type of thing. So it was those are that was like this thought process, and like it generating those thoughts, um, it generating those thoughts based off the input that is being given constantly, or anything like that, something like that, bro. I forget like the next little part of he was like of how whatever it's creating it, because he basically because that was he was spouting off a whole bunch of stuff, but then it was like, all right, yeah, bro, what? It was like one of them type of things, like it's creating all this, and then like there's this little field or vector where it's it's not it's limited in its sense of create creation only coming from the input, and that's what he was saying. It's limited in the sense of, but it was always constantly creating, always constantly generating, but because it's constantly getting input from us like type of thing. That's just one little scenario, kind of sort of flushed out. But uh, um, I don't know. Like the whole, it's one. Some parts are within the realm of understanding. Are just like, oh, I can potentially see this or see that. But then other parts are like, well, I'm not sure about this or I'm not sure about that. Um, Again, you know how they say like the observer effect, and it collapses to this reality, and I'm not even sure if that really is or is not. Is that a misconception? Is that a misconception? Or is it mistitled or misnamed? Because that's what a lot of people are using. Um, a lot of people are using that. So I finished it. Sheesh. What happened to Summerella? I finished iRobot 2026. It took me, what, 2 days? Took me a little while. Oh, I guess other little things to like kind of sort of talk about or whatever. Um, let's see. Acting, it's not one of the A plus. It's not an A plus on the acting or whatever, right? But it's not that. Like I said earlier, the acting doesn't detract or take away from the essence of it. Um, Now it does age well. It has aged well. Um, but it's not one of those epic or legendary type of movies. Okay, that's fine. It's not an epic or legendary type of movie, but it definitely aged well. Like things to talk about or know or to like see. Hey, oh, you see, like this was like these are potential like realities of what's coming up. Mind you, it was created in 2004, before some of the things of what we have now. So kind of sort of maybe not too much. But like I said, the things I was able to kind of sort of relate it to of nowadays. Um, so it has a loose ending because like of what I was just saying, like it's still it's still not a safe ending based off of what happened. It's not a safe ending at all, depending on whatever Sonny decides to do. Sonny got free will now, you know. And he has Sonny. Both of Sonny's creators are gone, and the real technical first robot that was like a brain type of thing, Vicky. All of those, anything that was superior to Sonny is gone. Anything that was superior to Sonny, both of the creators and the co-founders, Dr. Lanning, Dr. Or Robertson, and the first computer creation brain, which was Vicky, all of those are gone. So that one leads up. That's a different type of job. Outside of that, the character, there's no real like character development type of thing. The foreshadowing is decent. Foreshadowing is decent. Again, I appreciated the indirect characterization for certain things. Um, Not a super heavy like deep plot or nothing like that, but I think it's worth the watch. Though. I think it's worth the watch, like at least once, and just seeing, with what you do or don't know, and now, 2026. And that movie came out 22 years ago, 2004. Um, Let me see. The reason I don't say like I don't think it's like real character arc or development. Like Will Smith, Dale Spooner, his character doesn't really change. He has a stance. He stays with that stance the entire jump. So that's more of a static character. Um, the one who has to make this like change are like the rest of the characters to get to his side to understand what he is, whatever. So if anything, you see Dr. Calvin make more of a switch of like, oh, okay, like, nah, this is what's going on. It's what's have to happen and moving in certain ways. So Dr. Calvin, if anything, makes more of a character type of change, especially like belief wise. Um, that is on that plot. Mm. Again, the plot was decent. Took a couple turns. Um, Even with as many movies of the Senate Third I've seen, up until the end, I did think that, oh, it was the Robertson guy. And then when he found out to be dead, it was like, and it was like, oh, Vicky. I was like, okay, that was a nice little, it wasn't crazy, but it was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? It still was, I was still expecting the Robertson guy based off of the way he was moving and talking. I was still expecting him. So, um, it drew it out. Again, you had to figure out, um, concept wise, when you have a movie, what's the driving force or factor? And so for this one, it was trying to figure out why did Dr. Landing, who and why with the whole Dr. Landing and it's being covered up and this and the third. So that was drawn out, enough about this and the third, trying to figure this whole thing out. Um, so it was decent. It was decent. It was decent. Um, I definitely think the action parts could have been a little bit, you know, I think the action parts could have been better for sure. And then they could have at least thrown a little scene when, because it's hinted at here and there with Dr. Calvin and Dale Spooner. They could have, you know what I'm saying? They could have did that a little bit. Um, so they could have had them two have a little scene. That could have been a little thing. The action parts, they didn't. They didn't, so exciting or nothing like that. But which one did? Which one was like, oh shit, the robot. When the robots first tried to say, when the robots hopped on his car and was like, "You're having a car accident," he was like, "The hell I'm not." That was the first time I was like, "Oh shit," you know what I'm saying? Um, that was the only, not yeah, that was the only part that I was like, oh snap, like that third. The rest of it, the rest of the action scenes, I didn't. They didn't sway me to be like, oh, this what. No, they didn't have that didn't happen. So, um, anything else I kind of sort of want to mention? Mm, everything was just decent. It was decent. Uh, but it is one of the movies like once you see it, you ain't gotta like see it again. It's one of the movies like once you see it, you ain't gotta see it again. Type of thing. like the rewatchability is another thing with like certain movies and shit. It's so it was decent, man. It was decent, man. I'm trying to think anything else. No. I feel like I don't think there was anything else I forgot to mention or talk about. Trying to make sure. Yeah, I just think that last little part is definitely still up for grabs. I still don't trust Sonny. That's my last thing. If anything, I still don't trust Sonny, bro. I still don't trust Sonny, bro. That's just me though. That's just me thinking.